pray every night since you left home. Corina, 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 I love you so. Oh, little darling, where you been so long? Oh, little darling.
Yarat aita hojet the moto ti chigone belhanailka hodoshi hata sokis allara olkil aros ashe heli jigo ashladol nidego kilgi hada okisigi yat ngidini del horia denebananta Buu Nygren hojet nahol jisko hanen hich eneshi lashin le zeil in belndas ane hata sokis lashin le nal yabaha wandeda da yolni hodate lashin le tskilko zeil in danolle lashin salao danolloda de nebeke abka tada do kaho de gal tada de ehote lashin le masanado chedo jado madan nolloda le has twido san in da atinto aro hada okisigi Hehen kedini de horasi ba hehensin hada orkeston da isnoltsiho ani da honelgi do de nebananta benanishio lelgi horo isde stinla no sonda zen hada orkes ba hehensin kedin sinon kedishne horoshin ha hodoljish ado horoshin ba hehuinzen belnada ho agi chill na dingo yos kala go de mogo ne eshi na hohe bejin da hotlagi do dingar bazar be da hokagi eshi honne dilzenot obasho aha hot oshi ba hehuinzen hot ene ne dikat de mo yajgone chill na kits at da yos kalkone de nebe Washington na hokai naltehi dan igi belkhaz anigi khahi do kha no de nebe che eshi are yilho a da ne do bas kandida da Yanda da do sin belhuido art nika alchin da hido ish no eshi benago tsostsid ol kilo aro khaljish no aro lashi khadal dol khaldo khadal do chaho belhuido art no eshi hoto banda no khalti tsabogan hotzande belkhaz ade nal tlonshinal tehi dan ingi banda nesh khalta no so ho deshnita no so nast nake sebi tsostsid alla khastra kha tsostsid nast hoda hodosne Akwadede da hanegi de nechi hada baden trado bita hoyagi de nebe Washington salabas has anigi di ajigi shichin de inge hodo chinli salabas has anigi hastin lo tradin doban di benachego Michael Royal Lincoln che habaden trahat no alcedi il tsande woj chin se bit ata yos khaleta en sohegi shlates doba atla ata en so en tasigi neznet Din da want se bedin da hedetlo en stas arbet nae yishkliz bitsie lejen khannen kheda hallo do khode yiltsa khannetat enigin khsbata hausen go chinle salaw basas anigi bichin da hatosne nahast nake sebi hastra sosedi nake alla ado de nebanda house zenigi digi Laverne Barton natzado yat hawanda natza no hannen kiche hona liagi ba hedeni zin eshin hodo not ende natcha to hanne nat an das igi ba he huinzin das roigi de nebanda house zenigi Ado hone nanigi nanishelton nada zagi na kiskanda le Washington hon shagal khadit large kenan an lenigi Donald Trump bia iya Ado nalsos kushi khedi la bikaho de nebeke abakado statin halzo baka khet ola sinshlish huyol naligi yego alate ben kitten ido le no bahillenigi yago hodal nil hot oin le de beke abakao statin halzo beke abaka bahillenigi yago hodol nil hot o yego da leader do le no yehotes nalsos khedi like joy bebel khaz anigi bikaho bez ani ila ado she asaho aden ya petsin dan leginat ani adat hegi shide asaho aden na shande sada zina kirineza tin hone belagana yego ita holni to hotta hoda banane shidal inigi ade asahillo yesim kintle gresa anigi bido ben hat hahil hegi belya bana hast inigi le lejin hada hakedo yadat ati belinda has anigi khed ola nasti discount ati da hollo do le nan nishiyada tegi be da hallo do beni nada beso ya nahin tegi nehe da hallo ro le khad nanigi de nebe ke ba ka yese a lot in the hallo nan kit the jande adet khad shako junli kushina khayda nan nish khada bedi lwat intek but no kada ze stan nes nana khay nan nishiyol kholo late thago ne lejin ha kegi be ba hodolzen hot o yego babal ta hojondo khet ola de nebe ke ba ka jonon ke din zena hot edol no ade khoden khadina shto ni ade ba niya belke doshni Donald Trump yat eheshen and abedini dash khode he jonon ke din sendon jonon khiln dil nish si yego khodo nal sos khadin lagi khadole di de nebe ke ba ka din ke ya khot tseda kan shada achgo de netsin shlishi osnal belkhaz ade hayun ke de net del nish do benina sta disdin de milsa hone la peso nikhiana hin de to de net del nishigi a khehen khabzahin zigi in jonadole adolonle Montana Wyoming den khada nishigi hot o peso benina del enigi khabzahin zigi khadole jud nebeke ba kam peso bet de hoye donna nishta hoye nikinza in zigi khe khodo ni do hot o nalsos khadin liagi bebelke doshni do lat bandal nishigira khwata hollon yesebeltan jonie layot de neta des ishebel nehode de nebenan ahne thasatta siego bida hakobedo ni do Donald Trump ilkel dol nehado no ayonenat ani da bi yesigi ayota des hot o shiba khoda nosen stadin hat so bekannt genannt Donald Trump den khidossen not in hinan nishil rolligi an khenit egi ben khiten enigi ba khe huinzen hot o ado so khodo bay khanasce beso de nebeke ob kan jono be huil na to na nishta da hollonigi lehot ada sepins is great da necha to da atanal ye ba howan da hilnigi to hot on jono na nish ditke to biga da denigi ebik is nan ketishni ashona nishta hollo yat okay da honit de nen khansen hot on khalchin khadashi da kreila aho yanda khan nahoido khaho ebedo le khoinzinigi hoto Washington shgal khadit Donald Trump bilkedoshni do yat si bel shaolya yego yitlo janle nelchinal kidebi jinl ayo bahatkin halo shi yalt do ho hot enim shibiga hoyiza shi di enal kegi biche an khitol kida si yego yitlo hoto bashil khojo hot oshin khidin sendo hot oshin jono nakhan sikesen ke chance zonshi din nana khejin hot kchukade in khenan an lo hoto ba hoda no sendole Adolfo itada Donald Trump late banal nishigi Secretary Robert F. Kennedy sebagan hot zandin khaniya ashe ade de shal non khaniya de isina nispas lagi at isbike dest in only Washington nezet tendo ba de mil sa an na khachen kich honal ingi digi het all the nebeke of a car be de no nishigi hanoda ashe hui de sel Adolfo only an net khadidi chaton how de sel to shilna hodil no hot on khaniya khodo be khanas ebinina do biga sisa dan choida le Washington dash in she do khodo kedon jono khilna an nishto khalet all the nebeke baka khulzlo has anol an khina na da nit o khahyana da hot etol khanenigi sa edebe Washington sa be enigi ebinina hin khodon khaniya do kha betsinch baka ke da hat enigi hot o yegon a lot not anin lenigi Secretary of Health hot on khega Secretary lo at isbike dest ingin doch khega dan de hot o khaniya nigi kha keel kid bilkhna hashna al sede be bilkhna hashna genle nat nejos ze il in tsagi jono yat ege in nidin klanadlit al bahado leligi al de mil so hone la do ba ashi hone la peso you all ye ebe ashore he nekha dil gotlan jono natot aso betsin dan lenigi doshi an khide yada ade chida hos enigi yat ehodole aronat asas hoila niden jono ben khate shol arol to khodo be bilkhna has snagin le de nebeke ba ka be son kich honal in betsin bege dest ingi bilkhaz anigi digi an nahaha kushi the meal sa honne lat beson ki honali hoto the net khoba da hedot se khobli da edol eto ton choingi chida hedot se to beot da hoto niligi digi a large yes zindo ye not anin lenigi di den da alkhagi do yen da achangi bit the hoye ashtashi he o beso at and babacha da liande da tol nishigi de pe o ashonde he dika na din de mil ya je honne lat ati de ne tro yete dan ledo troshli da edo setan nenigi ashonde he shen da ben ka dil rot bedin ni do shas yego hot dil kedas khati na kheda shja khod yego bas khati ajno de nedan lenigi bitsin shtijn lenigi de newel yenigi asi yego dinsen ebenina khoden khaniya yo benashni de nedan no lenigi yat eho shja bitsin hata so zido yat ehon she da yego da no sinde no da ha shi yeshes na halne hot edo le Washington do beson ki honal ingi do zeil in the aje da del nishgi AOI tan ki chan na hashkhal hot o to tsado nisla khat nenigi hot on jono na nisho jono san ki hui la ishi hot o aro khada o kisigi ba khoda no sindole di de nebenant an shnigi kenna shisho eshtashi chihe de lohi aje da he khande del no ha ishi chejdo leligi ebe nasko holjish hajoya atgegi ebenina hon khane yanigi ba khe huinzen aro medicated that enigi donli shinle Canada yego de ne banda hat enigi do benina da beson ki honal igi belaganik achias yego ni khelsbada hozen just move it nenigit ahujit ego aro peso nan tehigite hot o di de nebeke ab kanjrono di shinishi de net Canada de jetelen Canada de eson le da yada ege bich honada do letigi di peso ki honen ege ashkhode he na khabasen ke don khasen zido le aro son jono batso hodezen yise a khehen ke dini at nek ache batso hodezen ishi ben jono ke chan ail khalt do nido besest ogi ba nid anjono yena gadel eshin hoto nat de nebeke bakat is baby ke test ingi do peso dan tegi hot on kha nal hoto le no hoto bakat nadi to eshin hoto ba hoda no sindele jono da inniston jono nat ani yego Washington de beta holnegi ad nebeke bakan khan nada khagi eshi ban khilta hojodo le aro to khode di khaba yashtegi to le Washington shakal khandet dikat na din do tin heil kid ade shakal khadit di Donald Trump kinant abel keto shni do tsiso bel na hashne ado yise na nish yanda zenigi EPA administrator hat nenegi Department of Interior secretary hat nenegi do Department of Energy secretary ado thon khan yanegi secretary of health hat nenegi yise yego bachin da hon hot and did the nebadant an shlon na din do tin heil kid ad and bel da has net do yego di the nebeke bakal na nishada den do ke that energy an he nike ken da so an hinade di ka khitrayana da hot etulis na nishnada hot loders adolfenly Washington ye howan de howan da ad na sosen das sozgi di tro elgada test anigi hosto ha zoje do yo troje ha zoje be so do bedal tra do tron kha da he dot setonli let so hat has geden de net da dol nishe da nas et at da dot so et at da ye kha da ad de ne yego tra dil nish a hot en de be so bichen $100 nil yent at da o nenigi hotat enigi donli bitsinstlich hat nenigi zeil in bisen da has anigi donli amato jado olchnies da bik da test ido latoda nli alada bik en nada ilye horobe khanaste Washington do legenda chizda letsinstlich da bik en da dol yasligi da alts iso beson kich hundil hot on nat ant nebe bekhan da yerigi do din nazi le Donald sosane bik test ingi eben ye chin de lohigi drake at bit da holni chin de lohi ye hawan ate hawan aro largest zinigi chin de lohi thonle khaish eben niat za salbich hosh in khaish eben niat za khaish te shnidel di khayu peso bita de do ye bita holni to nikha kha do holigi ede hot oba na stato na inshka shohe di hot dot nenit lenigin helto yegon sikesin helto khodo jono nadal di kan helto jono nada nit el khalet olan jono helnda dil nishno hot o shibinina tashedesino hot o khoden khadina di large das tahigi chombel kedel dil nito bekedon da zenigi yesen nanish de yol geri elo behelnda hodilne hot o shi ban helta hojodo le ba khoda no senjon khaitan kelba da hozen shi hot da ha shi janes dan lenigi beket khadiya do ha shi ban hasen ni hot ende da isnel dia ende slatin ha so bekai da isnel drek an hinand an ledo di nanish ba da hedest anigi bet nilzenot ojo alkhilnda dil nish de neyet kheda honni de neye yego bichin da hoina heishebin ne biga hat schnil ebenina tashidnat tashidesn hot on jono belta deshnishn so ba khuinzen shi hot on kalchindon edan lenigi bebel dahlne he genanand aya sin yego kenne shisho yego de neto bata hatzidi jono khada rest nat jono da bedesno yelnal nish do khoda nan hinke keba kat khada da kato nat nikhan di chat ne da no dan kedesin ba kheta nitzno bigato le shnoya to alzi so hanne ishlaro le arolton le ne ba Washington ultra la large ikeda des ingi belhas anigi dal neshigi ba analya le wojin khatin do asayol khalada analya do he atkhandal neshigi bel tahjo in le behos do hegi do behos qazigi al nidi honen ne do ebe yadat hon ne ba Washington aje ultra dan lenigi ikeda des ingi aje na del nis hen gedin ni do le jono analya gi arolton le da in neshen da chil dingo yol kalenda isnas pas late be on the the salat so la bich huilia is din benachega si yego khadi pa Afghanistan sala zidina khad na ga hot enes na ha wanet tendo halet olan jono yegon sepa do salat son slo ashon ha wan la shodol ni kada zinna is na na khi halkidan nel sos arat hodon nel nene ashon kar ha wan bich huilia le na kidan chato asla ya nal tahagi ado hawan en sohigi se bide nes na tin dob astrat tin dob tim asla te ango kesala en so hoto hawan badet ado asla an hit nen lo na nishi yos roligi sparrow group no hoto hawan des ebe njono da ennistok ade ti digi bahastigi na noshi yos roligi ekan se bi hawan ninnel arosla nado nesigi tati delnish at enes kenna hat sogo na hast etin hawan do nisle di khaje hoto ba hoto nosna si the mo na outlet hawan da nil salat so de neda ba kida na so sinda is nilan yego ba da hoshij hodo ishi ba hoto nosin kenan anslon tilo jok en da shton juno laban sida case de neye kalbichin da hoina halet olan Washington ohni na nishto lada ada do lebikin da hesi thanol hajodo le nene hoto de neba Washington khanda nishigilo ahahen kidini dole si yego be khanaste di hodos la Canada ha shi ban hashne hot en shedo asaha na nish ashida di de neba Washington at en yandal nishgi binina jono di to hanen kich enish alsona nishadal negi ado sonli sanda hotlegi bichina da holshigi the mo yajigon net achil nast it's at takoy kalo nast ego binago ol kilo nihe away ban hilta hojon do ba heta nitzen le todinesh ultragi na kids ata ultragi bilho ato le eshin ade anni nihe away das chinigido nihe away ta hollonigi di ashon jono na antkin betal do haida awaits all do haida da chinyes da chidi yin da has khanigi bebe ahodo le khanigi don jono na ani dan lenigi do order da yego away do chinyes ba khayanigi ye da hanigi horon kichen yada dost ke do di to in jono amato jeta etledo sashi amasanado nalado chede dan son nikit so kebike that not ingin khahedo khan chiyan da hollor le to di da hot ebe dasni to le the mo yaje achil na hast it's ata na hast ego beno khal jisto le tkhodinesh na kits ata wol traigi bel khazagi hot on khahedo khahe hot on len ka alchinata no selagin jonodo le astuido san da bi yesida to le khoinzo bel inash enigi first lady hot is kan jono khoto lelegi khahedo khahe aishi be kede khehen khidini idalishik edos the nechodochada akiston da isnolzingi nekedin sindon khan sino nakhansis case which nekenant an schlingle lede the nebichin da has debichin da huit na roslashin kalchin yegona nishvia nishviadat gitas kedohar shida baganigi khait olan henantan khanaha aron khayalt kedon khaho aslo pedo lecha nenigi ebinina hodo adamo na outlela na tin dahaljin yat ehon kichahanasze aber hone ani to the neck echebedo lechwinzo nikedin sindon khansis case eshibe yat eto hehe nan kedin nidaita ol kirhoroye the nebananta Buu Nygren adamo do the more do tin chigon na hotel hanen ke chene shingi ebedo lehn jonon ke kenata hotlo don jono haishita no senigi da no anin he da holno khan sis kesote ebe nada no o da holnya don jono elchi yata ke do al khada suda dol zendo al khan da do al ke da no o ebe jono nasku yi katol ebe he ke din di lado the more nas slingo shin hodo hanen ke chena de stil hakone.
Good afternoon. Jay Stephen Brian Etzedy, I'm your Executive Director for Navajo Nation EPA, and I want to update you on a lot of the activities that have been happening here at the Navajo Nation Environmental Protection Agency over the last couple of months. We have been very busy addressing a lot of the concerns regarding the agreement that is in place between the Navajo Nation and a company named Energy Fuels Resources Incorporated. And this agreement is for transporting uranium ore from the company's Pinyon Plain mine to their uranium mill in Blanding, Utah. That mill is called White Mesa Mill. Since middle of February or so, we have been implementing a brand new responsibility that is part of all of this activity. And we have established a daily regiment to inspect the transportation of this material. I'm very proud of my staff who've been responsive and who do this work every day. I was with them for the first 2.5 weeks when we started this, getting up every morning and getting out to a location in the south parts of Cameron, Arizona, where we have set up a site where we have the trucks. When they enter the reservation, we ask them to pull over to the side of the road, and we conduct a safety and monitoring inspection. We have our own radioactive materials detection devices, and we basically follow the requirements of the United States Department of Transportation's regulations and requirements for the transport of this material. In the regulations, Natural uranium ore is identified as what is called low specific activity number 1 material. And there are requirements that are in place for those. Much of these requirements are left to companies who transport this material to self-implement. And there is very little oversight done by either the United States Department of Transportation or to a state Department of Transportation where this activity occurs. And it's been very important for us to insert our authority and to be recognized and be able to verify what is happening to clear these trucks and approve them for what they call release on to the public highways. And so in doing our job, we meet them at this location along United States Route 89 going northbound. The truck drivers are asked for all manner of safety and their bill of lading information for their shipments. We take down a lot of the information that they have put in those forms. They keep those forms for their records and for their ability to demonstrate to the United States Department of Transportation that they're complying with their requirements. But we also capture that information. So we look at making sure that they have their emergency response plan document, that they have their onboard safety and emergency response equipment, such as their spill kit. We also ask to see a small device that they carry on board, which is their communication tool, which connects each driver and each truck to the trucking company's headquarters. It's called an electronic log device. And that device monitors the operation of the diesel truck in real time from the start of their trip to the end of their trip. So every time the truck is moving, data is being captured about the operations of that vehicle and other information about the load they're carrying, primarily the weight. So this particular tracking device, we make sure that it is operating and that it is being used by the drivers from the beginning of their trip to where they interface and meet up with us on the Navajo Nation, and that they continue to track their progress throughout the rest of their trip. So we capture all of this information from the drivers, and then we do our own very brief gamma radiological or radioactivity scan using our Navajo Nation Superfund program radiation detection devices. We use what is called a Ludlam 19 radiation detection device, and it is essentially the same equipment that the mine and the company uses to scan their vehicles before they are let go from the mine. And we take scans of the trailer, which contains the material, and we write that on our inspection form, and we compare that to the readings that the company has put on the form from the scan that was done earlier in the day at the mine site. So we are compiling all of this information, and we will be producing a report, our very first report, coming up for the second quarter of fiscal year 2025. We will be putting that report into our overall Navajo EPA report that we put together for President Nygren and the executive branch, as well as the communique over to the Navajo Nation Council and all of the delegates. And of course, this report gets distributed widely to every Navajo Nation chapter and to Navajo Nation officials all across the Navajo Nation. And interested members of the public will be able to download it and read it at your pleasure. So all this information, we're very going to be as thorough as we can to answer questions and provide this summary of information from all of these daily reports. There are some specific things I'd like to highlight. There were some weather conditions earlier in the month of March, which did cause for some days where there was no hauling. And that is something that we were in communication with the company, and we were very appreciative to know in advance that there were some days where there was no trucks coming through on this transport route. Normally, the agreement that we have with the company says that transport will occur Monday through Friday, and the trucks are only allowed on the Navajo Nation between the hours of 8:30 a.m. and 3 p.m. in the afternoon. So there were 3 days in the month of March due to the late winter weather and the decision made by the company to not haul on those days that there was no transport occurring. We look forward to continuing to work with the company to make sure that we have good advance notice on when these will be, when the transport will be occurring. And we're working through that transparency and communication with all of the chapters that are along the haul route so that we can get that information in your hands too. We're continuing to do everything we can to provide that information, not only to the chapters, but to our Navajo Nation government partners. We're very thankful for the interest and the assistance from our Navajo Division of Public Safety, our police department, and our Department of Emergency Management within Division of Public Safety. We're going to continue working with those folks and all of the chapter folks as we continue to move forward with this new program. I do want to make a plug that we do have positions that we're hoping to hire. I do have 3 candidates in the environmental law officer position, and we'll be looking at those applicants and hopefully doing some interviews and making some hiring selections very soon. I want to thank those applicants and just continue to let people know that we do have opportunities here to do this type of environmental work and many other types of positions that are currently still being needing to be filled from many of our programs. I want to wrap up by letting you know that the Tonanestiza chapter in Tuba City, Arizona, has agreed to host one of our very first information sessions. Ever since February, I've been going out and doing public meetings at the request of different folks, and we've been doing individual one-on-ones with different chapters. But I've been telling everybody that we're going to hold training sessions and information sessions where we're going to ask invite multiple chapters and multiple local government officials. And we are now set to announce, I'm doing it right now, that Tonanestiza chapter will host our very first one, and it is scheduled for April 29th, 2025. We will be inviting all of the chapters in the Western Agency. We're also going to invite the Mexican Water and the Red Mesa chapters from the Northern Agency. And we're going to have information provided by the federal government agency, the U.S. EPA, to give an overview on the whole national and regional level of how emergencies are responded to by the federal government agencies. That's U.S. EPA, that's U.S. Department of Transportation. We also will have folks from our county levels that we'll invite. We've established good working relationships with our county partners and their own departments of emergency management. We will be having the company itself, Energy Fuels Resources Incorporated, bring their emergency response team and the trailer and vehicle that they use to respond to any emergency incidents that they're responsible for. We will be bringing all of those parties to the Navajo Nation, specifically in Tuba City, for this all-day event, which is primarily for our local government officials. And we will be putting all this information together, and we will be putting ourselves out in front to help answer the questions about what is really the role of the local entities in the event of an emergency. And specifically, we're talking about a release of hazardous materials. In this case, it would be the natural ore. So we're going to be going through a pretty thorough overview of the existing network and the existing system of emergency response that is already in place. And we're going to be focusing on where in this whole system, where a Navajo Nation chapter and the officials and the communities fit in to that existing structure. And we'll also be talking about how we're going to continue to develop both here at Navajo Nation and Navajo EPA, Navajo Nation Department of Emergency Management, Police Department, how we're going to continue to develop our capacities to work with all of the responders. We'll also be giving some examples of how emergency responses have occurred recently, where there have been the need to respond to incidences along the roadways in our part of the Southwest. So we're looking forward to putting all of these invitations on a letter, and we'll be sending these out over the next several days to all of our local government officials. Very excited about that. Lastly, I just want to highlight the fact that we do have many other programs here at Navajo EPA. And one of the things that we like to do every year is to get together and highlight for not only ourselves, but our government and our people, Earth Day. This year, just like every year, it's on April 22nd. And this year, April 22nd is on Tuesday. It's next week, and it's, I'm sorry, a little over a week away. And it's the second day during the Navajo Nation Council's spring session. The Navajo Nation EPA, our Resource Conservation and Recovery Program, will be taking over the Navajo Nation Museum here in Window Rock, and they've scheduled a full day of activities. If you picked up a Navajo Times newspaper last week, you may have seen the advertisement for this event. We were looking forward to highlighting a lot of the work that the Navajo EPA does to enforce solid waste disposal. We do a lot of work in our RCRP program, working with communities and individuals to make corrections to illegal dumping. And we continue to address those issues as they repeatedly come up in communities all across our Navajo Nation. And we look very much forward to providing updated information. We're also looking to highlight some of the capacity that we've developed. I'm very proud myself to have been able to work with many Navajo EPA employees over the years. Since 2003, I've had the chance to work with many different Navajo Nation employees, obtain their education, even while they're working here at Navajo EPA. And I'm talking about staff that have been wanting to finish their AA degrees, staff that have been wanting to finish their bachelor's degrees, their master's degrees, and also their PhD degrees. And I'm very proud to announce that the keynote speaker at this year's Earth Day events that we have lined up for you is Mr. Henry Haven, who is a geologist and a veteran of the Navajo Nation EPA underground storage tank program. He's been with the Navajo Nation for decades. He retired recently, but he continues to provide his services to us as a contractor now. He is a wealth of knowledge, many, many years of institutional knowledge this gentleman has acquired here, not only doing the work, but then also, as I said, obtaining his advanced degrees. We look forward to his remarks, sharing his experiences while being a part of Navajo EPA and what he's doing with all of that experience that he's gained over the years as he continues to serve and help our programs. We want to highlight this to our young people too, because we know that there are a lot of youngsters that are involved in STEM programs, that's science, technology, engineering, and math. We really want to demonstrate what is possible when you do choose those elements of your education to really strengthen from middle school to junior high to high school to junior college, all the way up through four-year university, and as I said earlier, advanced degrees. We're looking to continue to support those efforts by our young people who are interested in these fields and in these educational disciplines, because we have a place to put you all to work here when you get through with your education and you want to start putting that to work in this field of environmental management. So we're looking forward to Earth Day 2025. And I also want to give a shout out to the Chinle chapter and many of the other chapters that are continuing to develop and execute upcoming Earth Day related events. Chinle chapter is doing a great job doing their local cleanup efforts. We applaud that. We've been working to get the local level at a level of capacity where they can take these things on themselves and highlight their own ability to do these things for themselves. Great work, Chinle chapter. Yeah, thank you very much, Orlando Teller and the new chapter officials that are now in place and managing the local government for the wonderful community of Chinle, Arizona. I want to thank you for that. And lastly, I want to say that I'm going to be headed off to Washington, D.C. next week, accompanying our Resources and Development Committee from the Navajo Nation Council. I, along with several of my staff and the leadership of the Diné Uranium Remediation Advisory Commission and the Eastern Navajo Land Commission, we're going to be engaging with senior members of the federal agencies, U.S. EPA, Department of Interior, Bureau of Indian Affairs, and we're hoping to get in to see members of the White House, the Council on Environmental Quality, to talk about some of the concerns and recommendations that we have for how we're going to continue moving forward on the cleanup of all these abandoned uranium mines. So we look forward to that. I look forward to that, going back to Washington, D.C. and spending some time with my oversight committee and my staff and other partners that we work with within the Navajo Nation on these important projects to move these cleanups forward so that we can make our communities, as our President Nygren says, safer, sooner. So with that, I want to sign off and thank again the Office of the President for this opportunity to provide you with this information. Yeah, stay safe. Yeah.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Effie Edsity. I'm the Executive Director for the Office of the Navajo Tax Commission. I'm a little out of my element today. I am way up north, northwest of the Navajo Nation. I'm in Copper Mine. I'm at Copper Mine chapter today. And one of my assignments today was to come out and to help with the food distribution with NAPI and the local chapters. There was a grant that was received by the, I believe it was received from the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the Navajo Nation, along with an MOU with NAPI, and we're able to deliver food items to these chapters. And today we were delivering here at Copper Mine chapter. So they had this lineup here to where community members pull up and we load items such as potatoes and flour. There's beans. There's also what else is there? Yellow cornmeal and blue cornmeal. So we did a lot of that. earlier. It looks like the line had slowed down, so I thought I'd come and do my report really quick here. So I'm going to report on our tax collections for second quarter. Second quarter being January, February, and March. So the amounts that we collected in the past 3 months. Our sales non-retail, which is going to be our sales non-retail, is going to be our construction work, our service providers, professional services, attorneys, and accountants and stuff, and occupations such as that. We collected $24,036,693. And this is just for second quarter. Tobacco, we collected $41,000. Possessory interest tax, we did $217,000. Our oil and severance tax, we brought in $458,000. Business activity tax, we brought in $2,084,045. Excuse me, our fuel excise tax, $2,982,000. Hotel occupancy tax, $728,000. Our sales non-retail, $4,271,000. Our junk food tax, $491,000. Alcohol tax, $19,000. So altogether for the second quarter of fiscal year 2025, we brought in $35,331,070. Which is not bad. It's a pretty solid number. Our total collections for the entire fiscal year so far, from October 1st up until today, is $83,241,393. So our office is doing rather well with our collections. And let me do a small report on the general funds. General funds for first quarter, we had actually brought in $25,584,508. For the second quarter, we brought in $14,819,105. So our total collections that go into general funds is $40,584,460. So we probably collected, I would say, 56 to 58% of our projection right now. So we are doing very well. I'm excited, and to meeting our projections for this year, I believe it's within reach. A couple of other items that we are working on besides the food distribution that I had mentioned to you today that I took part in to help the community way out here in Western Agency. A couple of things on my desk that I am still working on. One of them is dual taxation. I'm working with a consultant right now, and I have 3 commissioners that will be reviewing and giving guidance on how to go about addressing dual taxation. I believe I'm going to start with the state of New Mexico first and work through their process and to see how we can address dual taxation with our businesses. The second one is setting up a work session for my commissioners. We did have a meeting first quarter. I do need to schedule the second quarter commissioners meeting also. So those are 3 to-do items for me that I have on my list. Otherwise, that's all that's really going on with Navajo Tax Commission. We have our collections every day. We do our daily deposits and getting tax revenue to the nation. I would like to thank my hardworking ONTC staff. The administrative section, that would be Elisa and Tanika. Thank you. I do have a new temporary employee intern coming from Workforce. Her name is Maya Jesus. She's been a great asset to our office, so thank you, Maya. My accounting department, I have Tynia Stevens. I have Stan Sandoval and Tanisha Tracy, thank you for your hard work. My audit team, Lawrence, Laverne, Edward, and Regina, thank you for going out into the field and taking care of our field audits. I appreciate your hard work. And our compliance team, I have Denisha, Zethina, Cynthia, and Cheryl. So thank you for your dedication and hard work to our office and the people. And that is my report for this month. If you have any questions, call my office 928-871-6882. Again, the phone number is 928-871-6882. And thank you. Have a good day, everyone. Stay blessed.
Yore, 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 yanaga.